things we're supposed to do. Well, we're back here and we're going to start off with looking at the sermon of the Prophet. Now, we've done this 2 days ago. I'm going to go over it so that you know it by heart, and we'll look at the third section today. So he started off by saying, Ayyuhan nas, O human beings, إنه قد أقبل إليكم شهر الله بالبركة والرحمة والمغفرة. Indeed, coming to meet you is the month of barakah, which is, my goodness, extra, rahma, mercy or kindness, and maghfirah, which is forgiveness. Shahrun وعند الله أفضل الشهور, a month with Allah, which is the best of months. وأيامه أفضل الأيام, its days are the best of days. وَلَيَالِيهِ أَفْضَلُ اللَّيَالِي, its nights are the best of nights. وَسَاعَاتُهُ أَفْضَلُ السَّاعَات, its hours are the best of hours. هُوَ شَهْرٌ دُعِيتُمْ فِيهِ إِلَى ضِيَافَةِ اللَّهِ, it's a month that calls you to be the guests of Allah. وَجُئِلْتُمْ فِيهِ مِنْ أَهْلِ كَرَامَةِ اللَّهِ, and it makes you those who are close to Him and honored by Him. أَنْفَاسُكُمْ فِيهِ تَسْبِيحٌ, every breath of yours glorifies Him or declares His perfection. وَنَوْمُكُمْ فِيهِ إِبَادَةٌ, even sleeping is worship, is ibadah. وَعَمَلُكُمْ فِيهِ مَقْبُولٌ, your deeds are accepted. وَدُعَاؤُكُمْ فِيهِ مُسْتَجَابٌ, your calling to Him is answered. فَاسْأَلُوا اللَّهَ رَبَّكُمْ, so ask your Rabb, what you asking for? بِنِيَّاتٍ صَادِقَةٍ, with very, very clear intentions. وَقُلُوبٍ طَاهِرَةٍ, very, very clean hearts. أَنْ يُوَفِّقْكُمْ لِصِيَامِهِ, that you are able to fast. وَتِلَاوَةِ كِتَابِهِ, and you're able to do the tilawah of His book. And remember, tilawah was to read, to understand, and to apply to our lives. Yesterday we did the second bit, which was فَإِنَّ شَقْيَ مِنْ حُرِمَ غُفْرَانَ اللَّهِ فِي هَذَا الشَّهْرِ الْأَدِيمِ. The one who is the most unfortunate in this great month is the one who has not been forgiven. And then we looked at the 9 things we're supposed to do. وَاذْكُرُوا بِجُوعِكُمْ وَعَطْشِكُمْ فِيهِ جُوعَ يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ وَعَطْشِهِ, with your hunger and thirst, remember the hunger and thirst of the day of Qiyamah. وَتَصَدَّقُوا عَلَى فُقَرَائِكُمْ وَمَسَاكِينِكُمْ, and give sadaqah, give charity to those who don't have, who are struggling. وَوَقِّرُوا كِبَارِكُمْ, honor your old. وَارْحَمُوا صِغَارَكُمْ, be kind to the young ones. وَصِلُوا أَرْحَامَكُمْ, make sure your family relations, your close relations, you keep relations with them. And we talked about this yesterday. وَاحْفَظُوا أَلْسِنَتَكُمْ, mind your tongue. That means guard your tongue. Don't say things you're not supposed to. Better to be quiet. وَغُضُّوا عَمَّا لَا يُحِلُّ النَّظَرُ إِلَىٰ أَبْصَارِكُمْ, and close your eyes to that which you're not supposed to see. وَعَمَّا لَا يَحِلُّ الْإِسْتِمَاعُ إِلَيْهِ أَسْمَاعُكُمْ, and don't hear what you're not supposed to hear. And then the last one was وَتَحَنَّنُوا عَلَىٰ أَيْتَامِ النَّاسِ يَتَحَنَّنُوا عَلَىٰ أَيْتَامِكُمْ, be kind to the orphans of people so that your orphans will be looked after. So now we go to the third part. And here the Prophet said, وَتُوبُوا إِلَى اللَّهِ مِن ذُنُوبِكُمْ. This is a month in which you look at what you've done wrong and you turn back to Allah. You do tawbah. Tawbah means to turn back, to say, I'm looking at the stuff I've done, I'm going to correct it, and then I'm going to promise, I'm going to try really hard not to do it again. So he says, the next thing is, وَتُوبُوا إِلَى اللَّهِ مِن ذُنُوبِكُمْ. So today, number 1 was tawbah. Number 2, وَارْفَعُوا إِلَيْهِ أَيْدِيَكُمْ بِالدُّعَاءِ فِي أَوْقَاتِ صَلَوَاتِكُمْ. Raise your hands up in dua at the time of Salah. It's really important to know the times of Salah. I know next week, month of Ramadan, everybody will know at least the time of iftar. So let's see what the time of Salah is today. The 5 times, and I mean 5. We're at home, we can pray our Salah 5 in 5 times. You don't have to do it in 3 times. We've got the time, we're able to do it. So Fajr, inshallah, you prayed at 4:11. You did, didn't you? Okay. Zohar, we will pray at 1:08. What about Asr? Have you ever thought about Asr? Asr today is about 4:43 or 4:45. Maghrib, we all know that, 8:07. And I can tell you, you will tell it to me to the second in the month of Ramadan. And Isha is 9:18. I repeat again. 4:11, 1:08, 4:43, 8:07, and 9:18. Pray these 5 times. Okay, if you pray it 3 times, say you put Zohar and Asr together and Maghrib and Isha together, it's okay. You're allowed to. But at least at the time of Asr, at 4:43 and the time of Isha at 9:18. Raise your hands. He says, raise your hands. Now it says in Ramadan, but if I get used to it in Shaban, I will do it in Ramadan. Why does he say it? He says, فَإِنَّهَا أَفْضَلُ السَّاعَاتِ. These are the best of times. يَنظُرُ اللَّهُ فِيهَا بِالرَّحْمَةِ إِلَىٰ عِبَادِهِ. Allah looks at his abd, at his servants, at those who are connected to him at those times. He looks at them with kindness, with rahmah. We talked about Rahman and Rahim yesterday. It's phenomenal. I mean, if you were told that this is the exact time when things will just work, the doors of heaven are open more, Allah is looking at you individually, it's not rocket science not to write them down. I would put them down in big writing on my fridge, on anywhere. And at that time, stop everything you're doing and raise your hands in dua. Because the Prophet said this. It's amazing. Now the next bit here. وَيُجِيبُهُمْ إِذَا نَاجُوهُ. He answers your secrets. You know najwa? When you say munajat, that's a secret conversation. He says he answers your secrets, that which you can't tell anyone but him. He answers them. He sorts them out. وَيُلَبِّيهِمْ إِذَا نَادَوْهُ. Even when you call out to him loudly, he's there to answer you. وَيُعْطِيهُمْ إِذَا سَأَلُوهُ. He gives you what you ask for. Surah number 14, Ayah 34. Look it up. Ibrahim, Ayah 34. We give you whatever you ask for. Ramadan, extra. He makes sure he gives it to you because we're his guests. And then he says, وَيَسْتَجِيبُ لَهُمْ إِذَا دَعَوْهُ. And he always answers when you call him. So today we're going to talk about 4 things, or we're going to remember 4 things. Tawbah. We're going to raise our hands in dua. Maybe tomorrow we will look at how you raise your hands, right? You know, sometimes you raise your hands like that. Don't do that. Raise it up, above. Let his rahmah pour through. So the second thing we did was raising our hands in dua. The third thing we looked at was that he will answer our secrets. He will answer our du'as. It's really important to write down what we want. So that today is looking at the sermon of the Prophet. Let me go to the second part, which we started off with yesterday, which is looking at Quran City, trying to understand the Quran, looking at an overview of this book. Okay, so I'm going to do what I did yesterday again and add a little bit more to it. So you can imagine a city which has 114 buildings, because there's 114 surahs or surah of the Quran. The height of the buildings is according to the number of ayat in that surah, in that chapter. Yesterday I told you that we divided these with yellow roofs and green roofs. Yellow represented Makki and green represented Madani. So the Makki surahs are those that were revealed before Hijrah. Madani was revealed after Hijrah. If you look at any of your Qurans, at the top in the title, it will tell you whether it's Makki or Madani. Okay. Now I didn't tell you most of the differences. All I told you yesterday was that Makki was the why, that means why we believe, and Madani was how. There were 86 Makki, 28 Madani. Let's go a little bit more in these differences and then I'll go a bit further. So most Makki surahs will talk about, or rather the Makki surahs will talk about previous prophets and nations. They will talk about Tawheed. I talked about it yesterday. Tawheed and resurrection. It will talk about the consolation to the Prophet when there was so much opposition. And you will find most of the Makki surahs are generally short and rhythmic. So there's sort of a rhyme effect to them. Madani is now the how. It talks about rulings, it talks about worship, the legal code, what to do in war, in peacetime. It has commentaries on battles. It talks about consultations. It talks about the Quran and the Masumeen being the ultimate source of authority. Predominantly, you will find Madani are long and it's sort of formal, not as easy as the Makki, although the Makki are really intense. Okay, we talked about the gate yesterday, and I said on the gate there was Ikra, read, memorize, understand, apply, and teach. And yesterday I mentioned that we would do wudu before we entered this city, before we opened the Quran. We would say A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, because that's an order of the Quran. We would start with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and we would say La ilaha illallah. I'm going to add a little bit extra here. You cannot enter this city without intellectual humility. That means you can't read the Quran, understand the Quran. If you say, well, I know it all. I know it all. I don't need to know anymore. It won't accept you. It's not an ordinary book. See, in Surah Al-Furqan, this is Surah number 25, Ayah 30, we find the Prophet complaining to Allah on the day of Qiyamah. He says, Ya Rabbi, inna qawmu takhadhu hadha al-Qur'ana mahjura. My people took this Qur'an as a distant thing. They kept it very, very far away, really far away. We don't want to be the people that he complained about. We want to know this book really, really well. So, yesterday I also told you that the road network in Quran City is called M14. Without the 14 Masumin, we cannot understand these surahs at all. They're the ones who provide us with the guidance. So there's 19 suburbs now. So we've got an introduction, 19 suburbs around a city center. So if you can for a minute imagine a city, you've entered the gate, there's a city center, and there's 19 suburbs around it. The suburbs are according to either the name of the surah, or the subject matter of the surah, or the opening of the surah. So the opening of the surahs are known as fawatih. They open the surah. So for example, some start with like wal asr, swears by, I swear by, it starts off with. There are 5 surahs that start with qul. You know them? Okay. Qul huwallahu ahad. Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun. Qul a'udhu bi rabbil falak. Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas. And then the 5th one is Suratul Jinn. It starts with qul. So we've used those to make those suburbs. But today, we're going to look at Quran City Center. So there's a city center. Tomorrow I'll show you the Lego ones. Inshallah, you can make one yourself. So in the city center, there are 4 surahs or 4 chapters, whatever you want to call them. The right word is surah. There are 4 of them. There's Surah Al-Furqan, which is surah number 25. There's Surah Al-Alaq, which is surah number 96. There's Surah Al-Qadr, which is surah number 97. And then there's Surah Al-Bayyinah, which is surah number 98. Now I'll repeat the numbers. 25, Furqan. 96, Alaq. 97, Qadr. 98, Bayyinah. Now why did we put those in the city center? Because 25, Furqan tells you who you are, actually describes you, who you are if you reject the Quran and who you are if you follow the Quran. It's phenomenal. So we've called that who. The 96, which is alaq, we've called that how. How was the Quran revealed? It was revealed in the cave and the Prophet went up to meditate, remember? And it starts with iqra. Then we have 97 and we've called it when. When was the Quran revealed? You're right, Laylatul Qadr, and it's Suratul Qadr. And finally, 98 tells you what is the Quran, and that's Suratul Bayyinah. It's quite a difficult surah, but it's really awesome. So today, just a little bit of a look at Suratul Furqan, which is surah number 25, and it tells you who you are. It gives you your behaviors. And it's not about pointing at anybody else. It's looking at within ourselves. So all I want you to remember today out of the city center is the 4, who, how, when, and what. And today we will focus on the who you are, which is Surah Al-Furqan, if you reject the Quran, and who you are if you accept the Quran. So let's look at a basic overview. So let's see the qualities of those who rejected the Quran. And that's in the first section. That's in Ayah 1 to 20. So these were the objections they made to the Prophet. First of all, they said, he's made up all these stories. He's just made up everything that's in the Quran. Then they said, they're just ancient stories that you've heard from other people. They're dictated to you and you're just telling us. The third thing they said, you're just an ordinary person. My goodness, you go to the markets, you go shopping, you eat. You're just an ordinary person. You're not extraordinary. So they expected a prophet to be extraordinary. The fourth thing they said was, you don't have lots of money. You don't have lots of treasures and gardens, and you don't have all that. How can you be a prophet? And the fifth thing they said was that, I think you're a bit mad. Can you imagine? That's what they called the prophet. They said, you've got psychological issues. That's why you're saying all these things. So these are the 5 qualities of somebody who rejects the Quran. The first thing is they will say, these are old stories. He's made them up. There's nothing true in there. They will say that these are ordinary people. What's so extraordinary about them? The fourth thing is that they will say, well, how come people who have the Quran, who follow it, don't have lots of treasures? And the fifth thing they will say is that they've got psychological issues. Now let's see what the Quran says are the qualities of those who follow the Quran, like all of you. So let's see what it says. I picked up some of them. The first thing they say is that a person who follows the Quran is humble. He's not arrogant at all. The second thing they say is they pray at night. Remember Salatul Layl? They pray at night. That's why I said before you go to sleep, 1 rakat of witr. You can't do that, just do a tasbih. Okay, yesterday we did Rahman and Rahim. That's fine too. The third thing is they have a powerful vision of the Akhirah. So when they hear something that is about the Akhirah, that is scary, they won't do that. When they hear something that's cool, they'll do it because they want to be Ahlul Jannah. They want to be Ahlul Quran. They're moderate. They're not stingy and they don't waste either. They're in between. It also says that when they see something that's not right, they walk away in dignity. So we'll talk about that at some time. They listen and submit to the words of divinity. When they hear the Quran, they listen to it, not just hear. They listen. Then we say, what's been said? Let's see if I can understand it. And finally, and I love this one, they're very family orientated. They love their families. They like being with them. Lockdown for them is beautiful. They're with their families. So these are the characteristics of those who follow the Quran. So that's Surah Al-Furqan. Inshallah, tomorrow we will look at one of the other 4 in there and carry on from there. But now we go into the third part. And the third part is looking at Asma al-Husna. And the Asma al-Husna that I'd like to do with you are those that we look at in the dua that we read in the month of Ramadan. You all know the dua, don't you? Because you've seen the Asma al-Husna on the screen. It's Ya Aliyu, Ya Azim. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Ya Aliyu, Ya Azim, or rather those 2 Asma al-Husna, and then we will go on to the dua as we go along. So the 2 I would look at is Ya Ali, or Ali, Al-Ali, and Al-Azim. If you're looking at numbers, then Al-Ali is number 36. And it's so easy to remember because number 36 in the Quran is Surah Yasin. It's called the heart of the Quran. And you know what? We have an awesome student of Rasulullah, the most perfect student of Rasulullah. The successor of Rasulullah was Imam Ali, and he's in our hearts too. Because we're all those people who have Ali in our hearts. So you can't forget 36, right? So here, let's look at 36. What does Ali mean? First of all, if you look at the Quran, Surah Al-A'la, that's Surah number 87, Ayah 1. Sabbihisma rabbikal a'ala. Sabbihisma rabbikal a'ala. I declare, it's an order. Declare the perfection of the name of your Rabb, who is A'la, who is most high. And when that was revealed, the Prophet said, put this in your sujood. That's why in Sajda you say, Subhana Rabbiyal A'la wa bihamdi, the most high. And we're at the most lowest of positions. And Ali actually comes from Ulu, which means higher than you can even imagine. It's a phenomenal high. It doesn't mean high as in height. It means high in everything. So whatever you imagine Allah as, He is much, 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 much higher than that. He is just way up there. It's phenomenal. Even the most perfect man. Who was the most perfect man? The Prophet. Even he would start all his du'as with Subhan al-A'la al-Wahhab. I declare the perfection of the one who is most high and the most giving. So the moment you say Ya Ali, as far as Allah is concerned, or you say Ya Aliyu, whatever you say, oh my goodness, you are calling upon the Most High. So what I want you to remember is when you go into sajda and you say Subhana Rabbiyal A'la wa bihamdi, remember this ism, this attribute of Allah, Al-Ali. And then Azim. I don't even know how to translate it. So Azim in essence is number 33. Okay, can you remember that? 33, not difficult to remember. Azim, sometimes translated as the mighty. I would say the most awesome. I can't find another word for this. So when in Surah Al-Waqiyah, the Surah Al-Waqiyah, ayah number 74, when it was revealed that Sabbihisma Rabbikal Azim, declare the perfection of your Rabb, who is the most awesome, the most mighty, the Prophet said, put it in your ruku. That is why you and I recite this in our ruku. So Azim is greatness, it's dignity, honor. So when the Prophet wrote a letter to Heracles, who was the emperor of Rome, inviting him to Islam, he wrote to him telling him, "You are the most Azim man of Rome." That means the most important man of Rome. So when you say Azim, you got to say the most important one ever, anywhere, is Allah. So Azim, most awesome, most important, whatever you want to say. Now let's look at the benefits of reciting those names. So if you were to carry Ya Ali with you, as in relating to Allah, then whatever you have will be doubled, increased, manifold. So the hadith goes, if you're poor, you will become richer. If you're troubled, things will become better. If you feel lonely, which we do now, you will feel like you got loads of people around you who love you. So that's Ya Ali. And Ya Azim, my goodness. If you want respect from people, just keep on reciting Ya Azim. If you want to be protected from the harm of enemies or anything else, recite a tasbih 100 times. So today, you'll pick up your tasbih and you will recite Ya Ali, Ya Azim. That's it. We'll go to Ghafur and Rahim tomorrow. So Ya Ali, Ya Azim, as many times as possible. I'm sure you can do that. So inshallah, I will meet you tomorrow back again online, and we will do the fourth part of the sermon. We will look at the other chapters in Quran City Center, and we will look at Ghafoor and Rahim from the dua that we read in the month of Ramadan, which is Ya Ali Ya Azim. Let us end today with the dua for protection, because we live in very difficult times, and that dua will protect us, inshallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. خمسة أطفي بها حر الوباء الحاتمة المصطفى والمرتضى وأبناهما والفاطمة. Read it with me. لي خمسة أطفي بها حر الوباء الحاتمة المصطفى والمرتضى وأبناهما والفاطمة. جزاكم الله خير. في أمان الله قريم. Inshallah, we'll see you tomorrow. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت وأبناهما والفاطمة. جزاكم الله خير. في أمان الله قريم. Inshallah, we'll see you tomorrow. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت وأبناهما والفاطمة. جزاكم الله خير. في أمان الله قريم. Inshallah, we'll see you tomorrow. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت وأبناهما والفاطمة. جزاكم الله خير. في أمان الله قريم. Inshallah, we'll see you tomorrow. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت وأبناهما والفاطمة. جزاكم الله خير. في أمان الله قريم. Inshallah, we'll see you tomorrow. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت